Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Find Out What's in Pelenta's Forrest. Grab yourself a glass of water or a cup of tea and spend the next few minutes with me. Don't believe everything you hear and check your facts. Do your own research. What that means is, don't believe everything I say, because I might be telling you a big fat lie, and I'm drinking green tea out of my Tostitos jar. Don't you want to know what my butterflies are saying? I think you do. Don't you want to know what my butterflies are talking? This is Find Out What's in Pelenta's Forrest. Ha! No, okay, I'm not gonna start that. See, I've got the news to share with you, and if you didn't know it, now you're gonna. Dang cotton picking paper clips. They always give me trouble, and they're the cheap paper clips too. Anyway, how's everybody doing? It is so lovely to see your beautiful faces. Thank you for watching my show. I appreciate it. I already said this a million times, I know, but for those of you that don't know, I've been doing this since April 23rd, 2016. That was my first episode. And now here I am doing episode 78. So it's pretty cool. I've gotten a lot of positive suggestions from people about doing editing, making the show better and things like that. And I thank you so much for that. I love it. You know, I'm a big communicator. You can talk to me about anything. But you know, I'm not doing this show for views and for fame and subscriptions. Of course, it's great to have, but this is a hobby. And I love doing it. It's just very, very basic, very blah. You know, I built this set out of some old wood scraps. I built the desk too, and it's just fun to do. I mean, I see a lot of people's videos, and man, you guys are doing a fabulous job. Shout out to Surrounded by Keith. He's got a show where he reads about, 420 help, cannabis, medical cannabis, and things like that. Him and Red Pill. You can check out Cyclops Genetics. He's got a real good thing going with the medical cannabis community. So those people, they have really good videos. Shout out to Betty Crocker. She's another one. Her videos are smashing, darling, smashing. But, they put lots of time and effort into the videos, and they have all the fancy stuff going on. And I think that's wonderful. I like watching the videos, and they're great. But I'm just a very simple, basic little person. This is just a hobby, and I like it just to stay blah and basic. It's fun. So shout out to everybody. I love you. Thank you for your support. But today we're going to be talking about anorexia nervosa. Good dang it! See, this is why I need a freaking editor. Actually, I need to edit my tongue because I obviously I can't say anorexia nervosa. She willikers. So I'm going to be talking to you about that today. The causes, symptoms, and signs. Because in episode 77, I think I just said, about the vomiting and how it's really violent to your body and things like that. So bulimia is not anorexia, but today we're talking about anorexia nervosa. So we're going to talk about what is anorexia, the major types of anorexia, the causes of anorexia, signs and symptoms, dieting versus anorexia, anorexia treatment, and articles on anorexia nervosa. So, what is anorexia? I'm going to tell you. Anorexia nervosa is a psychological and possibly life-threatening eating disorder defined by an extreme low body weight relative to stature. Now, this is called BMI, Boy Mother India, Body Mass Index. And it is a function of the individual's height, and weight. Now, extreme and needless weight loss, illogical fear, not illogical fear of weight gain, and a distorted perception of self-image and body. Now, additionally, women and men, because I think I don't want to say it's glorified or glorified, whatever, I don't know what I'm trying to say. But anyway, I'm not trying to say it's glorified just like with women, because the women want to be models and, you have to look like a skeleton. As a matter of fact, I just heard the other day that France has made some new law where their models have to be healthy and appear healthy. You can't be a toothpick with your clothes hanging off of you to be sexy. So, it's you usually hear about women, but men also suffer from anorexia nervosa. So additionally, women and men who suffer from anorexia nervosa exemplify a fixation with a thin figure and abnormal eating patterns, which is very sad, especially now for our teenagers and our youth, because society has you brainwashed into thinking you are not beautiful unless you look like, I don't even want to say her name, and I know you guys know who I was getting ready to say, but I'm not going to say it because I don't even want to glorify her. But they want you to look, they put this in your head that you have to have a perfect breast size, a giant penis, nice big butt, flexing muscles, and long fingernails, thick lips, all this bulging, popping and stuff. And that does not define beauty. Who you are defines beauty. I think I said on one of my Instagram posts that the color of my heart is more important than the color of my skin, because it is. What's your heart? That's your heart. This is just a shell, okay? You could be overweight, fat. I don't care. Just brush your dang teeth and smell good, for crying out loud. I think personal hygiene is more important than how you look. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm going to get on a rant, so let me go. Let me finish up here. So anorexia nervosa, here we go again. Anorexia nervosa, I'm going to fire my editor, is interchangeable with the term anorexia, and that refers to self-starvation and lack of appetite. So here are some major types. Excuse me. I'm doing like about 6 tapings today because I'm getting ready for surgery. So I want to have some, shows in my threshold so I don't have to sit here and stress about it. But anyway, major types of anorexia. There are 2 common types of anorexia, which are as follows. Binge purge type. Okay, I'll say that again. Binge purge type. The individual suffering from this type of eating disorder will purge when he or she eats. Now, this is typically a result of the overwhelming feelings of guilt a sufferer would experience in relation to eating. They compensate by vomiting, just talked about that, and abusing laxatives or excessively exercising. The other type of anorexia is restrictive. In this form, the individual will fiercely limit the quantity of food consumed, characteristically ingesting a minimal amount that is well below their body's caloric needs, effectively slowing and starving him or herself. Okay, they're slowly starving. So through 2 classifications of anorexia nervosa, both types exhibit similar symptoms, such as an irrational fear of weight gain and abnormal eating patterns. Thank you, society. I don't think all of it is society's fault, but, we are flooded with the stars that have great bodies and all this kind of stuff. But one of the reasons why a lot of these stars have great bodies, now some of them do actually work out and they are healthy, but you have to understand too, a lot of these stars, they can afford to have their own personal cook that's going to make their food just right. You know, they have personal trainers. They have somebody that's constantly cracking the whip on their behind saying, hey, look, get up, do your jumping jacks. Nope, don't eat that candy. Don't eat those cookies. You're diabetic, type 1, type 2. So, you know, lots of these stars have people that are in their corner that keep them straight. Us little people down here, we're just stars in a different part of the sky because we're just as important and we're just as gosh dang special, okay? But us little people down here, we're living a real life, okay? Not saying the stars aren't living real life, but they're living a different life than what we're living. And we have families, we have children, we're having deaths in our family, illness, running rapid, so on and so forth. So we may not necessarily have the drive to stay on top of all this stuff, nor can we afford to have a personal chef and a personal trainer for life, okay? Yes, I just crossed my eyes. I haven't done that in a long time, so check this out. Anorexia is not a simple disorder. It has many symptoms and effects, and its causes are complex as well. Now, currently, it is thought that anorexia nervosa develops as a result of multiple factors, both biological and environmental. We just talked about things in your environment triggering lupus. Now, examples of environmental factors that would contribute to the occurrence of this eating disorder, this is what it is. The effects of the thinness culture in media that constantly reinforce thin people as ideal stereotypes. Professions and careers that promote being thin and weight loss, such as ballet dancers and modeling. You have family and childhood traumas, childhood sexual abuse, severe trauma. Speaking of, just recently there was a picture, I think, of Nicki Minaj posing with the Olsen twins, and they just went crazy. They talked about how they look so old and so skinny. And then I heard through the grapevine that with all that Full House stuff and Bob Saget, whatever his name is, there was child sexual abuse and trauma and things like that. So lots of times when you judge people by what they look like and how they're doing and all this kind of stuff, you don't know what everybody has been through. And everybody has their own strength on how they deal with stuff. And some of us don't have the money to go out and get professional help. And once you get professional help that may be free, how long is that going to be free? So there are a lot of things to bring into consideration when you're judging somebody based on their looks, okay? You have peer pressure among friends and co-workers to be thin or sexy. You know how it is. You just lost 10 pounds or 15 pounds and everybody's like, oh, you look good. Oh, wow, you really lost a whole lot of weight. Then you gain that weight back. And what do people start making jokes about? And then your friends can be the worst because they're the main ones that'll get you hooked on stuff and get you in trouble because they'll say, oh, dang, girl, you better quit eating that donuts. Man, you must be smoking a whole lot of weed, eating potato chips. That's messed up, you know? So you have peer pressure among friends, family, and people that say they love you to be thin and to look perfect, you know? So examples of biological factors include irregular hormone functions, genetics. That's the tie between anorexia and one's genes, and that is still being heavily researched. But we know that genetics play a huge part in the anorexia nervosa story. Nutritional deficiencies, and here are some symptoms of anorexia. Here's some signs and symptoms. You know, now an individual suffering from anorexia nervosa may reveal one or several signs and symptoms, such as chronic dieting despite being hazardously underweight, obsession with calories and fat contents of food, engaging in ritualistic eating patterns, such as cutting food into tiny pieces, eating alone and or hiding food, continued fixation with food, recipes, or cooking. The individual may cook intricate meals for others, but refrain from partaking in the fabulous meal. Okay? Amenorrhea is an abnormal absence of menstruation. Now, this is for ladies. And if you don't know what menstruation is, that means your menstruation is your monthly period. There's sharks in the water, okay? So, you lose 3 consecutive menstrual cycles because of your anorexia nervosa, messing with your food intake. You'll develop depression. You'll be lethargic. Development of lanugo, that's soft, fine hairs that grow on the body and face. Reported sensations of feeling cold, particularly in extremities, loss or thinning hair, avoidance of social functions, family and friends. You may become isolated and withdrawn. Well, it's very sad because it's not funny to joke about. People, we have problems, for crying out loud. And I think that it's all environmental. I think it has to do with what's in the air, what's in our food, what's in our toothpaste, our drinking water. I can go on and on, but I'm not. Dieting versus anorexia. Though the restrictive eating patterns that characterize anorexia nervosa are similar to dieting behaviors, there are stark differences between the two. Now, the effects of the extreme behaviors resulting from anorexia nervosa are far more devastating and consequential than dieting. While someone may diet in an attempt to control their weight, anorexia nervosa is often an attempt to gain control over one's life and emotions. Did you hear that? Anorexia, I'm going to say it again. Anorexia nervosa is often an attempt to gain control over one's life and emotions, especially in the light of traumatic events or a chaotic environment. Okay? Now, while someone might diet in an attempt to lose weight as a primary goal, in anorexia, they may diet because they perceive, this is psychological, they perceive losing weight as a way to achieve, God. They perceive losing weight as a way to achieve happiness and self-mastery. Okay? Now, given the complexities of this eating disorder, a professional treatment team involving medical doctors, dietitians, and therapists is necessary for the recovery from this eating disorder. Now, some new stuff that's happening: effective holistic eating disorder treatment of anorexia involves 3 necessary components. Okay? Medical, 1. The highest priority in treatment of anorexia nervosa is addressing any serious health issues that may have resulted from malnutrition, such as an unstable heartbeat, nutrition. This component encompasses weight restoration, implementation and supervision of a tailored meal plan, and education about normal eating patterns. Therapy. The goal of this part of the treatment is to recognize underlying issues associated with the eating disorder, and it addresses and heals the traumatic life events. Okay? Learn healthier coping skills and further develop the capacity to express and deal with emotions. So, and there's a lot of articles about anorexia nervosa. There's been a large genetic study. They talk about treatment. Male athletes that have battled anorexia, they talk about the long-term effects, damaged social, relations, middle-aged women, common signs and symptoms. And let's be clear. to most people, the word diet means restrictive eating. And this approach is often a gateway to develop disordered eating habits. So anorexia nervosa is a very real disease. It's not all in your head. You know, people have problems, and oftentimes, you know, when you're not surrounded by good friends, because let me tell you something, you have fair weather friends out there. They're always talking about, oh, if you need me, call me, I'll be there, I'll be there. But then when you call, they're always too busy to talk to you. Okay? Surround yourself with healthy, reliable friends. That's the key. Because, like I always say, we're supposed to be here on this crazy planet Earth. We're supposed to be here helping each other. We're supposed to be helping each other get better and get through crazy things that we're going through. So anyway, on that note, I am so grateful for everything, and I am also grateful for you. So shout out to Cyclops, Betty Crocker, Cyclops Genetics, Betty Crocker, Keith, Red Pill. Go to their YouTube pages, check out their shows because they are absolutely amazing. They take so much pride and time in the editing they do. They have cool music, little things jumping across the screen. It's just amazing. So you can go to my website. Actually, I have my website back, but it's not up and running yet. So I know I said this before, but I had to change a whole lot of things. So while I'm recuperating, I am going to focus on my website and have it up and smashing within a month. So you can go and buy my book anywhere. It's available. And on that note, go out into the world and say a kind word to somebody. Take your emotional butter bath. Let that negative crap roll right off of you. You are special, and the world would not be the same without you. God bless you all. Have a great day, and I will see you next time on Find Out What's in Pelenta's Forrest. Love y'all. Thanks for watching.